This is I Am Change podcast. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. There is zero success without change. Be the change you want to see. Believe, focus, achieve. With the increasing rate of unemployment, starting up a business is the wisest journey to embark on. Startup businesses are coming up everywhere across the nation. Nigeria has the largest startups in Africa as the ecosystem is becoming more and more open to investment. It's I Am Change podcast, and we've been speaking with Dr. Kali, who has been shedding more light on how to start and grow your business in Nigeria. Thank you, Dr. Kali, for joining me on I Am Change podcast.
Thank you, Joyce. So now, first of all, I'm a Tony Almeida entrepreneurship program mentor. I've seen people move from zero to something. One of my mentees sent me something yesterday morning, and because the boy was talking about money, he wants to open a poultry. I said, "Have you done the next Titan? Have you done the next Titan? Business plan competition?" He said he had never heard about it. I gave him the website. He just applied, and they called him to be there by Monday. For grants, you can win up to 7 million naira plus, I think, a Ford and all those kind of mentorship and all those. So he gives $5,000. And on the board, a lot of people are so lazy because there are so many questions to ask and answer, and those questions border on this. And I'm telling you at the beginning, what are your understanding of basics of finance? What are your understanding of your cash flow? What's your value proposition? Who are you selling to? What problem are you solving? So these are all the problems. So when you talk about financing, if you get the system saying right, people will be interested in putting their money where you are. For instance, a few months ago, there's something that needed to be done in my company, and I gave them the money earlier, 2 million, and said, "This money, please use it to pay for this." They said, "No, it's not time yet. It's in 3 months' time." I said, "Okay, put it anywhere, and make sure that during that time, because I won't be around, make sure you use it to pay that money." And now one of the branches, and now they put it in fixed deposit. After 2 months of fixed deposit, 2 million every month, the bank gives us 10,000 naira for 2 million.
Oh, wow.
Every month, 10,000 naira. Okay, do you think if I see somebody who is doing well, who has plan and all those, I won't give the person 2 million to give me, some hope? So people know that you can give people money and you get better results, but people's businesses are not done in such a way that you have the confidence to put in the money there. So family and friends.
What do investors look out for?
These are the things I'm talking about. I've talked about them earlier on. And remember, very much like you, the interviewer, a lot of people always think they need to take care of lions. And that's why I started with that. You take care of the mosquitoes. Yes, you must identify a problem. It's going to be real. Understand the problem. Connect it with your passion. Connect your passion to the market. Create products, services, and platforms. And people will become interested. Now, you create the firm or company for your product. What kind of firm will? These are the things banks are looking for. How much have you given people before and say, "Go, when you succeed, bring it back"? It doesn't happen. Banks' money are not, the money in the bank, they are not banks' money. They are people's money. So banks know that. But I'm going to talk about, sources of funding in the next 1 minute. So create system for the company and your market. What is your marketing system? What are your selling systems? What are your value proposition system? What legal form has your business taken? What are the customer optimization system? We can't finish this now, but these are things people are looking for. Now, you test and you now do your RSD.
What's that?
RSD stands for ready, set, go. A lot of times people do ready set, that go part.
Actually, good to go.
Yeah, people don't actually invest in something that is just 100% in your head. And that's where the government should come in. Government should invest in the things that are in your mind, but when it comes to, that's where you cannot entrepreneur yourself out of, bad governance. But when government can see a glimpse of what is in your mind, they should be able to invest in it. But investors don't just invest in something in your mind. They want you to have started it a little. So that's why we say, go to the market with your passion and your product, then nail it and scale it. Nail it means do something little and start it somehow, and then you have systemized it. Yeah. And then you can now, when you are going to optimize it, you can now expand it. Okay, now let's get back to your question around grants and all those.
Yeah.
Now, the present government, we can give them some credit, not 100%, is because of there are some of the policies that have been there, but being activated at the moment. Now, the central bank is doing a lot with loans. A lot of people will tell you, bank money, this one, that they've never gone to bank before to ask, is because of what people told them. So, central bank now, because of bankers committee money, bankers committee bring their PAT, I think 5% of profit after tax. Yeah.
Every
single year to put in a pool for the central bank to give towards to entrepreneurs. So that money, central bank has the AXMIS loan. AXMIS stands for Agriculture Small and Medium Enterprises Investment Scheme. Now they have the CIFI, CIFI, that is Creative Industry Financing Initiative. They have other packages, but and a lot more are coming. But people are not always interested because in this money cannot come to you. For instance, the AXMIS loan, you have to a lot of people are skeptical about it because they say, we've gone for the training, they've not given us money. There are a lot of people that have received, and there are a lot of people who are queuing up. So I think my advice to my country people is that let's stop over cynicism and skepticism. These things are going on and they are true, but people will always think, if you don't know anybody, it won't work for you. Leave that thing. This country, this is not true. So in the AXMIS loan, you need to go through a training with an EDI, that's Enterprise Development Institute, and then they give you a certificate. Then you write your business plan and then submit to the Central Bank of Nigeria. When you do, in the AXMIS loan, they can give you up to 10 million naira. You have 5% interest rate. You have sometimes 6 months moratorium on interest and 1 year, 6 months moratorium on principal. It can be spread for you over 7 years and all those. So most time the problem we have is the problem of knowledge.
Right.
People don't know this thing exist and they're not willing to know. We run voodoo economics, so we run voodoo, life, because we always want. That's why the prophets, the herbalists, the ritual money makers, and all those, and the Ponzi scheme, they will always have business because people don't want something they will contribute. They want something you are going to do for them. How can you do it for me? Can I bring somebody's pants and then I become rich and all those? So that's what people want. So if you follow this process, you're going to get the money. We involve in also training these people, and we know a lot of people have got their money, and a lot more are also getting. Okay, so I've talked about CBN. Now we have the Development Bank of Nigeria. How many Nigerians have gone there to ask them what they do? We have uncountable grants that are moving left, right, and center, from the Tony Almeida Entrepreneurship Program to the one Tony Almeida is doing with the UNDP. We have the Next Titan. We have quite a lot of them going on here and there. Now, but also, you can, bring in people who you think can sponsor your business. Instead of looking for 10 million, can you see 5 people who can give you 100,000? You're going to find out that you will make that, you will get that 1 million, and then be able to move on with your business. And then a lot of our business people don't have what we call business plan. They don't have any plan on how to start, grow the business. If you ask them for statistics, they don't have. They'll say a lot of people are waiting for me to produce for them to buy. What's the number of the lots of people? Who are they? Where are they? They don't know. Now they don't have books of accounts. Yes, they don't have like they don't understand business of finance. You see, and because of that, people can't look into the account book and then be able to say, oh, this is the progress of the business. In fact, they sell and put in their pocket and spend. The monies don't go through the bank.
Yeah? Okay, talking about that, in a case where a business owner cannot afford an accountant and that person wants to take his or her, because I'm sure most of these people really want to take their incoming finances seriously. What other easy steps can such a person take in order to track and record their finances?
Wonderful. Now, I encourage people not to, and Joyce, let me tell you, you can go to bank with this. Every problem we have on earth is an ASK problem. A stands for attitude, S stands for skills, K stands for knowledge. If you have enough attitude, skill, and knowledge regarding that problem you are in, you will get out of that problem. You see. So now I tell people, my friends and my students, not to use the Play Store as an app downloading site. They should use it as a project management site. And I think at this point I should go online to show you. So if we go to Play Store and then you type in, anything like app for, you can call it expenses and income daily records.
Okay.
So you see, these daily expenses, money manager expense and budget, and so if you can't afford accountant at the moment, you can use these apps to help yourself. Yeah. That way you can always print them out. There's this Keep. Is a Google this thing. You can use Keep to record this Google app, Keep. Yeah.
Okay.
You can use it to record your expenses and all those kind of things, and all those. But also you can attend training where you learn the basics of finance. You understand your break-even point, because these are the things people are looking for. Those who went to university, you understand your break-even point. You understand the number of your break-even product. If you, I don't know how much time we have, but if you give me 1 minute, it may be very important to tell you the difference between, fixed costs and variable costs, and why these things are killing business, and people are going to get money elsewhere to put in the business. For instance, let's say if your expense in a month is your fixed expense is like 100,000 naira, and then you are making a gain of 100 naira per product you sell. That means you need to sell at least 1,000 of those products for you to break even.
Okay.
You need to sell at least 1,000 just to break even, meaning that you are not on loss, you are not on profit. So if you still want to make another 100,000, you need to sell another 1,000. So people don't calculate this, and they want you to invest in their business. Remember, we talked about government, but we're also talking about the things we can do ourselves.
Okay, right. So can you just quickly identify some challenges that startup businesses in Nigeria are likely to face, and maybe provide solutions?
Yeah. The first problem, I think I talked about it earlier, is the problem of knowledge. If you don't have the right knowledge base, you will always have the problem of, every time having issues with your finances, your logistics, and all that. So we need to first of all identify the knowledge gap we have, and then try to work on that. So every singular problem an entrepreneur has is a knowledge problem. Where can I get the solution? Where can I get the skill? Where can I get the right attitude? That's one problem the entrepreneurs are going to face. Number two problem is the problem of motivation. Now, every day something is actually, it seems to be pulling you down, and you need to wake up every morning with two sets of skill, and that's what I recommend, because that's what I wake up with every day. You need to wake up, number one, hungry and foolish. Yeah. What that means is that you need to wake up knowing that what you knew yesterday that you used in running that business has been what? Obsoletized by your sleeping and waking up. You understand? So immediately you are able to get that, you are now on the right road to actually doing more. So you need to wake up hungry and foolish. That's what will help you to actually do a lot in the areas of how can I, learn new things today. So you need to wake up hungry and foolish, but above all, you need to also wake up enthusiastic and optimistic. Now, there's nothing that kills than lack of enthusiasm. Lack of enthusiasm kills so much. In fact, I better go with, somebody, an ignoramus with enthusiasm than a professor without enthusiasm. So lack of enthusiasm kills every day. Now, I think number three, I mentioned the two sets of stools. You must wake up hungry and foolish. You also wake up enthusiastic and optimistic. And then I mentioned the first thing, you must always seek for knowledge. Now, the third thing is basics of finance. Now, what kills business more is lack of cash flow. When you don't have cash flow, Now, what happens with lack of cash flow is they never calculated their break-even point. They didn't understand their sales forecast. So they also buy on instinct. Maybe this is summer, or summer is just ended, and or it's ending, and your wife wants to, or your husband wants to go, or your child wants to go on vacation, and you didn't calculate very well, and knowing that if you remove this money, you have so and so problem, so you remove that money. In fact, for people like me, from the 25th of every month, you probably may not get anything from me until the next month. Why? Because I have branches across that I must pay salaries. I must, the company must do quite a lot. So you don't need to tell story to your staff members or tell story to your vendors and all those. So you must understand the cash flow issue and know is that. Now, the next problem is don't having records. Not having records means that all the monies you are getting, you are not spending it, keeping records, especially them going through the bank. Do you know that in most banks, there are POS loans? If you're using POS in your organization, you can be given a loan. I think 1/3 of the money that goes, that pass through the POS. If you go to the bank, they can give you a loan. So if 1 million pass through that in a quarter, and you go for, they can give you up to 300,000. If 10 million pass through, they can give up to 3 million naira by just the fact that you are. So, but a lot of us make this money, but we sell, we put in our pocket, and then we eat it. It doesn't go through. Or we sell, we put in our pocket, and we buy again with it to restock. So this thing should go through, a process that can, accumulate it for you. Now, go ahead.
What can the government now do to create an enabling operating environment for startups in Nigeria, to achieve a stabilized economy?
You would have noticed from our discussion that I don't like talking about government. You would have noticed that.
I got that.
Yes, because you probably like talking about government. My reason for not talking about government is very simple. I am disabled. You now, you can run in the rain, climb the stair, do this. I was talking with a foreigner who owns company here. I was threatening him that the way you are running your business in our country is so funny and downright, not right, because we disabled people. He owns what do you call it, a media company, and he uses radio stations and all those. And I tell him, you just even put rail both sides so that disabled people can hold the rail and try to go up there. He told me, my brother, this is not my problem at the moment. I said, what is your problem if you cannot just do that? He told me, we built Abuja. He told me, we built Abuja. You are not more Nigerian than myself. We built Abuja. And just point to me, even in the ministry, which particular lift that is actually working. That's what the man told me, a foreigner. And in fact, I have some minister friends, and most times we can't see in their offices simply because the lifts are not working. You see, and I didn't know what to answer the man. And I told him, okay, is it why you are not? He said, show me now, then you will now have the mouth to come and blame us here. So why I gave you that example is I don't like talking about government, because your father, when Shagari came in 1979, your father was happy and thought things would be better. Then Buhari took over. He was happy, thinking 1984 or so, thinking things would be over. Babangida took over. He thought things would be over. Shoneko took over. He thought things would be over. Would be better. Sorry. And Abacha took over. The thought things would be better. Abu Salami. Then Obasanjo came for the second missionary journey, second term. Yaradua took over, and then we're in Buhari's second term at the moment. So of course, most of the things we were shouting in the 70s, the 80s, that's what we are shouting now. So that's why I don't like talking about. So if you want the best person to ask for government, don't ask me, because being disabled, I've not seen any help anywhere coming. So I always do my thing. But we consult for government. What we advise them is, look at NAFDAC, look at Standard Organization of Nigeria, look at Customs, look at even FIRS, look at, all those other agencies. They should relax some things for what? For entrepreneurs. If you want to get NAFDAC number, you go through some kind of, sometimes very, very impossible, environment. And sometimes you don't know who to talk to, because, they are not in a position to actually relax some of these things for you. So to that extent, it becomes so difficult to actually accomplish. So let them, the ease of doing business they're working on, they should work on it faster and make it work better. Yeah. Then the issue of multiple taxation, they should work on it. Yeah. I think the government at the moment is trying so much with ease of doing business and trying to look into some of these bottlenecks. So I'm thinking that they should do more regarding these bottlenecks, the issue of multiple taxation. Because the local government will take the money, the state government will take their own money. Quite a lot of money taken from for a single business, and is not wonderful at all. Okay, so then the issue of access to funding. Now they must do something regarding what do you call it, interest rates. The interest rate is choking. Yes, right. No business can afford 18, 24, 33%. It's not doable, because when you also compare the fact that people are getting loans, like the Chinese, India, they're getting loans 8%, 3% from their countries and using it to flood the market here, and then government should also do some reasonable protectionism, not the kind they do now, encouraging local production of what, and local buying of what can be produced locally, and putting some level of restriction on these other ones that are done, foreign. And I think finally, in my recommendation, They should stop making us a dumping place where people just come and dump in things and all those. Yeah.
Can you explain what that means?
Oh yeah. What I mean by that is that, you know, most times go to any market, you are going to see that the standard of some products brought in here are not so qualitative. I give an example with something like cable. You see, Cussons cable and all those are some of the best in the world. But you're going to see, you know, cables that are brought in that, you know, you put them, they do what they melt away. Government should have the way of making sure that these things don't come in here. Yes, they must have a way of making sure that they protect us from these things, that they don't come in. Substandard products and all those. They have to find a way of doing that so that they can incubate our own. And then they should do a very good you know, they should have a very good robust policy on advocacy regarding using our products, starting from themselves. How many of them are using even this nursing car that is produced here? How many of them, you know, people learn from, if you're a leader, okay, look at, you know, with due respect to our president, you know, how can you be sick and you go abroad for medical treatment and then you want the ministers to stay back, or you want the, you know, they should have those laws in place so that nobody goes abroad for medical treatment. They should, nobody, you know, the people who are ministers here don't send their children abroad to study. You see, they should study here. You know, they should have the local content institutionalized and all those. So you see why I don't want to talk about them, because, you know, how would they do this? They won't. So it's for us to actually have the critical mass who can stand up to them and say, oh, we are not interested in you patronizing or your patronage. We are interested in this country going right and all those. So if we want to do this cap in hand thing, what will you tell the government? What will you tell the government to do? You know, it makes no sense as far as I'm concerned. So the problem is very fundamental. If we take care of ourselves, we can stand up to the government and say, oh, this is the right thing to do. And then we'll be able to do that. Yes, without prejudice to the fact that America that we look up to is more than 200 years old in their democracy. So I believe that as the days are going, we were not where we were yesterday, but we are not where we should be. So I believe that we are making progress in governance, but it will take some time where you don't need to keep waiting for them. Yes?
All right. So what are your final words to all entrepreneurs and startups in Nigeria?
Yeah, my final word is that entrepreneurship is the best thing you can do, both for yourself and your generation to come, and above all, to humanity. Because entrepreneurship is, you know, out of solving society's numerous problems and going home, you know, beautiful by virtue of reward to yourself, to the people you are employing. The next thing about entrepreneurship is that you're going to get out of this earth having, you know, left your mark. For instance, you are using Apple computer and you are using Mac computer because there was somebody like Steve Jobs. So as far as Apple pedal, nobody can forget Steve Jobs. So it's entrepreneurship that helps you to make those kind of mark. But my final word at a personal level is you must understand that the ass, you know what is ass? The ass that cut the tree when it comes to entrepreneurship is you. So the capacity of your active, positive information reservoir as an entrepreneur is directly proportional to the rate of the velocity of your exploits as an entrepreneur, and inversely proportional to the volume of your failure as an entrepreneur. Now, what that means is that when your container for actually having active information that you are using, active attitude, skill, and knowledge that you are using, when it is very big, now your failure container will be small. And when your knowledge container is coming down, you know, active knowledge, I'm not talking about the knowledge we have. I'm a university academic, you know, so my friends and colleagues in the university, the kind of knowledge we have that is most time encyclopedic knowledge. You see a professor of entrepreneurship who had never done a business before, a professor of marketing who had never sold a pencil, a professor of whatever, So I'm not talking about that, with due respect to my colleagues. So when your active knowledge is, the container is big, your rate of your velocity will be faster and stronger. But immediately it is coming down, your failure container will be going up. And that's very important that we know that entrepreneurship is a knowledge, skill, and attitude-based, business and an endeavor. If you must do well there, be knowledgeable every second of your life, be skillful, and have the right attitude. Yes, because there will always be problems and issues. And in fact, entrepreneurship is not about business. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, in whatever you do, you're going to be always successful because entrepreneurship is mindset. Yes?
Thank you very much for this educative session. Thank you. It was nice having you on I Am Change podcast platform.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good. Bye-bye.
It's I Am Change podcast, and we've been speaking with Dr. Kali, who has been shedding more light on how to start and grow your business in Nigeria. Starting up a business is a tough decision to make, with the attendant risk and uncertainty inherent in entrepreneurship. But then, do not be discouraged to start, as no aspect of human endeavor is risk-free. Inaction is even a greater risk. You've been listening to I Am Change podcast. I'm Joyce Ometu. Thank you for listening.